What's going on? I'm your Game Master River here today to talk about Savage Worlds, Adventure Edition. Savage Worlds is a generic role-playing system that you can use to play in any setting your heart desires. When creating a character in Savage Worlds, you begin with picking 2 minor flaws and 1 major flaw about your character. Anything from being blind or clumsy to having a terrible secret no one can know about. In Savage Worlds, you have 5 attributes: agility, smarts, spirit, strength, and vigor. Each of these attributes have a die type associated with it, starting at D4. You then increase your die type by the points given to you in character creation. Beginning at D4 and going all the way to D12, you then do the same thing with skills. The last piece is you can take the points you've gained from your flaws to either increase your attributes, skills, or you can take edges. Edges are anything from being able to cast spells to being an ace driver and fixing things with almost no resources available. The game has a meta currency called bennies. Every player starts with 3 of them, and they can use them at any time to reroll any roll or add a small change to the narrative of the story. The basic mechanics of the game are really simple. The target number to hit to accomplish a task is almost always 4. Every 4 higher you go is a raise and something cool happens. Be it you do extra damage, you find an extra clue, what have you. An example play would be, say you have a D12 in shooting and you go to shoot an enemy. You roll your D12, and let's say you roll a 12 on the D12. The dice will explode, and you get to keep that 12 and roll again, and whatever you roll, you add to the number. And if you keep rolling 12s, you keep rolling the maximum number on a die, you roll it again and again, potentially forever, leading to insane situations. Every plot significant character, the players and important NPCs, are what are called wild cards, which mean whenever you roll 2 separate die, your skill or attribute die, and a wild die, a D6. Wild cards can take 3 wounds, while every non-wild card NPCs, called extras, have only 1 wound. The game uses playing cards for initiative, as well as many other mechanics. The highest card goes first, and then it goes in descending order. Cards are also used in the chase mechanic of the system, where your players will begin at 1 card, and the person they're trying to chase down on the other, or vice versa. And you make your own actions depending on what card you are, as well as move up and down the series of cards. Say you're sailing on the high seas, and you're fighting an enemy ship. You can arrange the cards to be in a 2x2 grid, noting where each ship is and how they cross between each other and fire at the enemy ship. The cards are also used in the mechanic called interlude, which during downtime, or just, any kind of empty space where you're not accomplishing the main campaign, players will draw a card, and based on that card will determine the action they've taken, or maybe a flashback they think on of the previous life they had before the campaign began. The system is great for running high action campaigns, westerns, shooting up bandits are trying to steal cattle, sailing the high seas as pirates, shooting an enemy spaceship in space. However, it doesn't really work well in high-intrigue political games, where there's mainly talking and complete roleplay. Some of my favorite settings for the Savage Worlds are Deadlands, a western horror game where you play as cowboys, card-slinging wizards, shamans, mad scientists, and people who use the word of God to cast magic. You fight bandit gangs, railroad barons, evil spirits, and even the 4 horsemen. Rifts, where you play as literally anything, from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, to a Transformer, to a werewolf, a dragon, an anime uwu magical girl, and Steve from accounting. It's a high-action gonzo setting, everything in the kitchen sink. The After, a post-apocalyptic setting where aliens came and destroyed the Earth. Other aliens showed up soon after. These 2 groups began to fight each other, and their fight led them outside the galaxy. And you play as individuals who are surviving the changed Earth that they have left. This review may be a bit biased, because I love Savage Worlds. It's definitely one of my favorite systems. I enjoy playing wild, wacky adventures with my players, and just having a good time. I feel the system really lends itself to a low prep GM style. I tend not to prep too far in advance and like to play off the cuff. And it just suits really well. You can create enemies and friendly NPCs in less than a moment just by thinking about it. The system is very simple to run, very smooth, and I enjoy it highly. I definitely recommend it.